something we all need. Gotta have it now if you wanna succeed. Striving, surviving, that's no doubt. Sticking together, we gon' find a way out. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, as always, for staying involved. Thank you for staying engaged. This is season 4 of the Back Community with our theme for this year, Dream Bigger. Tonight's guest is the epitome, is the definition of Dream Bigger, because every time I get a chance to talk to Miss Alexander-Ellis, she is always off doing something new onto her next endeavor. So like I said, man, she's a definition of dreaming bigger. But I am so excited to get her on the Back Community. This is actually the first guest that I had on here twice, but she deserves every bit of it. So let me just tell you why. She deserves every bit of it because she's won every possible award that you could win. Definitely in the capital region. She's the only other person outside of Big Meech that I know who has her name in the spotlights on the billboards everywhere. And I mean, she's doing it all. So without further ado, tonight's guest is Miss LaQuetta Alexander-Ellis. Thank you for being on the Back Community.
Thank you for having
Hooray!
me.
Well, listen, like I said, man, this is my first opportunity to run it back with anyone ever. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to run it back with you. And hopefully, I did you some justice in your introduction. But I know that nobody can introduce you how we can introduce ourselves. So my first official question that I ask everyone on the Back Community, LaQuetta, please tell the Back Community more about you, what it is that you do. Here's your opportunity to introduce yourself to the Back Community.
Well, I'm the founder and CEO of Practice to Perfect Training Center. I started in February of 2020 independently. My first class was out of my kitchen due to the pandemic. And then once we was able to go to the classroom, we went into the classroom. I teach phlebotomy, medical assistant, the EKG technician course, medical administrative assistant, CPR, and I have other courses up my sleeves that I will be announcing soon. Practice to Perfect is doing big things. There's a lot of announcements coming soon. I'm just taking it one day at a time and just asking God to keep giving me the strength.
Okay. Hey, and actually, man, slide yourself over in the camera, man, because I'm only gonna get there. You go now. Now I can see the whole thing. Listen, don't be giving the world half of you. All right, we need
Can't
all
tell
of you.
it all. Can't tell
Yeah.
it all.
Listen, man, Practice to Perfect, like you said, is doing big things. I constantly see you featured in magazines, on TV outlets, and that really just says a lot about your work ethic. Um, and you got to tell the people how you ended up here, right? Because as I like to call her, a Quetta baby was just like myself. We would be considered a troubled teen, right? But to see how we were able to transition and change our life around and make such a dynamic impact in the lives of other people. Please tell us, how did you get into the training center, everything that you're doing with the training center? What was it about you that drew you to phlebotomy? If I said that right, I can never say that word right, but I think you're a
It was okay.
phlebotomist. Please tell us how'd you get into that work?
Yes, so teaching has always been my passion since I was a little girl. I've always wanted to teach. And I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to teach. As I got older, I got into the healthcare field. And then I said to myself one day, why not teach what I love? It's very important to do something that you love to do because you're going to love doing it and be passionate about it. So during the pandemic, right before the pandemic, I was thinking about opening up my own training center and start teaching. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, now is the time to start. because we needed healthcare workers in that field. You know what I mean? People was quitting work left and right. We needed more healthcare workers in that field. And that's what made me prompt and go so hard and start teaching so quickly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. And how has it been for you, the life of an entrepreneur? Yeah. How's the life
Mm.
of an entrepreneur?
I love it. I wouldn't trade it in for anything. There's good days, there's bad days, just like everyone have at work, But I keep going. I don't stop. I don't let the negativity
Mm.
have me stop or
Mm.
let me down. I keep pushing. And the more people talk, it gives me more motivation. So I go even harder,
Mm.
So you're talking, but you're really helping me because now I'm going even harder. I'm
Mm.
building an empire. My dream is to have a franchise. I want practice to perfect all around the world, all around the country. So it's getting there day by day. Every day I wake up, I ask God to give me the strength, and He gives me the strength to do what I got to do for my business and for my family.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, man, when you just said it, I'm making a joke about it, but it reminds me of Big Meech when he said, the world is ours, right? So, when you
Exactly.
say that you got grand dreams and an idea for where you want to take it, I see that you're doing it tremendously.
Hmm.
But you know I know I mentioned to it earlier, how were you able to turn a negative into a positive to become a teacher, right? And how impactful does that make you as a teacher working with your students?
The older I get, I'm learning to ignore. I'm learning to just keep pushing, and I don't let my students see me down,
Mm,
because they all have a story, and I want to give them that motivation. I want to keep inspiring them, and that's why they all come to me for that
mm,
inspiration. My classroom setting is very safe, is very confidential, and I like to assist my students in any way that I can. It's not
mm,
just teaching them. If they need help with food, clothing, and shelter, I am here.
mm,
You know, if they need a ride after class, I will take you home.
mm,
You know what I mean? So I always try to think positive. I have all these positive slogans hanging around the classroom.
mm.
No negativity allowed. We come together as a sisterhood, unless we have a guy in the class. But most of the time, it's women. It's women, and I always tell them we are a sisterhood. It doesn't end here. Let's
Mm,
keep in touch. Let's hang out. Let's go bowling. Let's do things
mm,
together because we never know what people are going through.
mm,
And just the fact that of me providing the training and helping them get employment to provide for their families, that's enough for me. That melts my heart enough. So any other steps that they go, it just makes me even more happy because I know that they started with me. I know that I pushed them to this point. I
mm,
always tell them giving up isn't an option. Keep going. Go to school
mm,
for nursing. Go be a doctor. Go be a lawyer. Go be whatever you want to be. But it doesn't end here. This is just the beginning
mm.
to greatness.
And that's what makes your work so impactful. Like I said, from the
Hmm.
outside looking in, I love seeing everyone post with their certificates, right? Because, like you said, what you're helping them transition with is just the starting point, right?
Hmm.
But for so many people, that's their first big win,
Right.
right? And it's just like, hey, well, you know what? I can do this. I can
Hmm.
take this opportunity, now take the confidence that I was able to get as a result of getting this certification and training and transition that into a whole nother opportunity for me. And I
Right.
think it's really impactful. And the reason why I had asked the question is like, how does it feel being impactful to your students is because, one of the things that I've learned for myself over the years is that I've turned all my negatives into positives. And as
Hmm.
more negatives come, I figure out how to turn those into positives too,
Hmm.
right? And it's just like so I have learned how to find a lot of strength in
Okay.
in my negative experiences, right? So Like I tell everybody now, I say I think it's my superpower. Like the things that
Mhm.
I've gone through as a young male, as a now adult male, right? A lot of people will shy away from telling their story. I don't, right? Because I
Mhm.
think it helps me to connect with people. I think it helps to set a realistic expectation of what can be done. Like, man, if Rail could do it, I could do it. You're like, yo, he was
Right.
just right here with me. So be like, yeah.
Right.
So I like telling the story because it helps people realize, like I said, you can turn negatives to positives, and that's what I see
Right.
with you all of the time, right? And it's just
Right.
like, yo,
Right.
it makes us better teachers. And
Mhm.
I coach people to tell them that very thing. Hey, listen, rather than trying to avoid our past, when you start to embrace it, you realize that it's embracing the past that helps to make you stand out. It becomes your own
Mhm.
superpower, right? So
Mhm.
now when I'm in every meeting that I'm in, or even at work, right, I uniquely show up as Tyrell Lee Hughes even at work, right? The same kid
Mhm.
that hustled on Judson Street or ripped and ran
Mhm.
down First Street in Lexington. I show up with that person at work, and my authenticity
Right.
sells. And now we're in
Right.
2024 where everyone wants you for authenticity, right? We
Mhm.
are our own brand, and it's very important to recognize that and just realize that that's a part of your special sauce.
It is.
Keep cooking.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And I tell them, I wasn't a good kid growing up, like I've been through some stuff as well, but people change. As you get older, you get wiser. People
Mm,
change. And I also tell them, don't get upset or be stressed over something that you cannot control. What's gonna be is gonna be, period. Don't get
facts.
yourself all worked up and sick because it's gonna happen anyway. Just be prepared,
Mm.
and just be ready.
I like it. I like it. Well, let me see. I have to ask. One of the questions I always ask everyone on the show is because I can see where you are now, right? And
Mhm.
everybody else can see where you are now. But sometimes people want to figure out how do I get from where I am to where I want to be, right? So I always ask this question, and I'll say, so Quetta, thinking about your younger self, right?
Mhm.
Thinking about the younger version of you, what is something you wish someone would have poured into you or told you? Um, Now looking back at it that you realize that you probably would have needed or you would have appreciated. But thinking about your younger self, what is something you wish someone would have told the younger Quetta?
Move in silence and make noise later.
Ooh, okay, okay. All right. All right. And what do you and what I think I understand it, but what do you mean by that? Move in silence and make noise later. If you were to break that down for me.
Never tell your right hand what your left hand is doing. That's something my father always told me. Everything ain't for everybody. Everything is not to be announced.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you announce it too early, people prey on your downfall. So now I move in silence, make noise later.
I like it. I like it. And the cool part for you is that as the lady said in what was that movie? Boomerang. Boomerang is one of my favorite movies, right? And she was like, Marcus, he says, you shouldn't have to blow your own horn. Somebody else should do that for you, right?
Mhm.
So
Right. Yeah.
for you, you see your successes coming out and the way that you're being honored and recognized
Mhm.
everywhere. So, the other thing is that, your work will speak for itself, and you're a great example of that alone. I don't have to do X, Y, and Z. If I do the work, the accolades will come.
Right. Right. I
But
don't I don't have to make myself known or try to fit in. My work ethic speaks for itself. My students speak for itself. After completion, my students go find work, and that's just something that they're eager to do because they have fun with me in a classroom setting. Or they want to go to school to further their education, and I told them go to a hospital so they can pay for you to go to college. The goal is not to be in debt. The goal is
say
the
that
goal is
again.
the goal is not to be in debt, and this is why I started what I'm doing to not put our community and our people in debt. So they'll go to school for 2 to 4 years and then have a $40,000 loan. And that's what you're making. Why?
Yep.
Why set us up for failure? So I decided to provide affordable courses, provide national certification, something that they can be put on a payment plan, or if they qualify for funding, they that will cover that, and there's nothing else to pay when you're done with me. All you
Mm,
got to do is go to work,
mm. I love
make
it.
your money, and provide for your family. Don't stress about financial aid. Don't stress about having to pay P2P. You're all done with
Mm,
P2P. Let P2P keep helping you succeed.
mm. Listen, that's a really big one because a student loan debt and I think I'm not sure. I don't think it's surpassed mortgage debt, but it's pretty high, right?
Mhm.
So to be able to have an affordable alternative, and like you said, something that's going to get you as a starter from where you are to where you're
Right.
going to go is
It's
very
funny
important.
because I just had this conversation today with my daughter at her school, and me and a few other people was talking, and we were just talking about how an employee at her school is still paying for her kid college, and they can't even use those credits, and they
Yep.
went to a great college. So all that money is just going to waste.
Yep.
So I tell people nowadays, these employers don't want to know if you have a master's. They want to know what skill you have. What can you bring to the company? What can you bring to the table? They want to know what skill you have. You're
Mm,
bypassing your education. What skill can you bring to us? And
mm,
that's why I provide the best of the best.
mm. Okay, okay. Hey, listen, and it's great that you say that too. Like, what tangible skills are you bringing, right? But there's two aspects of schooling, right? And I got a family member that I always get into arguments with about school, right? He'd be like, "Ah, Tyrell, school's not necessary," and I'd be like,
Mhm.
you can say that." And in a lot of ways, it's not because it's not for everybody. But there's
Right,
also a lot
right.
of aspects of school that you won't get anywhere else. I met some of my
Hmm.
closest friends as a result of going away and moving out of Albany and moving to Charlotte, right?
Hmm.
And I learned how to be truly independent,
Hmm.
leaving Albany to go down to Johnson C. Smith, right? So, and a lot of people say, well, you don't got to pay $80,000 to get that experience, Tyrell. You're right, you don't. So now what I tell everybody is that instead of just making emotional decisions, because I think this is where we get into to trouble, especially in the Black community, right? We make a lot of emotional decisions. We make a lot of last minute decisions. And
Hmm.
because it's not proper planning, we end up putting ourselves into a lot of debt. But now the people
Hmm.
that I work with, I say, hey, well, let's look at the schools that are actually offering you the most money. It might not be the school that you want to go to, the Howards or the FAMUs or all of these big
Hmm.
name schools that everyone hears about. But here's the
Hmm.
thing: you can go to a community college, right, for your first 2 years, especially in New York State, let's say, and do it absolutely free, right? Transfer from that community college to a 4 year school, and now you're only paying for actual 2 years of scholars. And if you did your community college correct and got your grades where they're supposed to be, you might be coming in on scholarship where you end up with a little to no debt too. So there's a lot of avenues
Hmm.
the more proper planning we have in advance. And we got to stop positioning our kids to wait until their junior and senior years to start preparing for college. Because what I've learned and what statistics shows is that we have to start exposing them as early as seventh and eighth grade to these types of avenues and opportunities.
I agree.
Yeah. But let me say, because I got to say this, so I have to ask, how do you balance it all, right? So, wife, mom, business owner, right? A business owner times two, because you got sowing seeds to success as well. How do you find a healthy work-life balance?
Self-care. I pick a day to just worry about LaQuetta. If
Mm,
that's staying in bed all day, that's what I'm doing. If that's going to get a mani and pedi, that's what I'm doing. But self-care is very important. Um, when business hours are over at 5 o'clock, phone goes off. It took me a long time to realize that and to start doing that, but I had to find balance. It's not fair to my family that we're out eating dinner and I'm answering P2P calls at 7:30 at night. So I really just turn the phone off. I don't respond to emails unless it's urgent, after business hours. And that's about it. But self-care is very important. That's the main thing for me, is self-care.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man, finding a balance. Sometimes, especially especially for self-employed individuals, but I think it's for every person, being able to find balance is very important because sometimes you feel guilty for saying, "Hey, I didn't respond back," because
Right. Right.
everything is customer service right now, right? So everything that you have to do has to revolve around everybody else. But I
Right.
appreciate those who realize that, no, I need to set boundaries for my clients. I need to set boundaries for me so that way I can
Hmm.
have a healthy work-life balance. So kudos to you.
Correct. And
Kudos to you.
I'm a really active auntie. I'm an active
Mm,
daughter, wife, mother. So I'm really family oriented. So I need to devote that time to them.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, you don't want to miss in front of you, chasing what's ahead of you.
Correct.
Enjoy the present. Tell me
Right.
more about sowing seeds to success. Tell me about this
Hmm.
second business endeavor that's about to blow up. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So Someone Sees to Success is for career services. So for my students that need help updating their resumes, if they need um, clothing for interviews, if they need scrubs for class, if they need to learn how to set up a professional LinkedIn account, we will have those services from Someone Seeds. Also, if they need funding to go to Practice to Perfect, we will have those services available. I had to sit back and think about, sometimes you have to just think about other ways to do things. And starting a nonprofit was the best thing I could have done. You
Mm,
know, um, Pretty much my students will have everything under one roof, and that is the goal for me. I want my own building. I want sewing seeds and P2P in the same building, so my students don't
mm,
have to catch 3, 4 different buses to get to one spot. I want to have a daycare center in my building, so my students don't have to pay for childcare. It's very expensive. I want to
mm,
have a fitness center in my building, so my students can work out. I want it accessible for them. I want a food pantry, so if they're struggling at home, they can help themselves to the food pantry. I
mm,
want all of this stuff under one roof for my P2P students.
mm,
And I think about, what can I offer that no one else is offering?
mm.
So I try to be different.
I like it, and it shows, and you're doing an amazing job providing the services that you already are. But kudos to you again for the aspirations to add those additional services, right? Because life be lifing. So
Hmm.
we need comfortable, affordable, safe spots that we can actually go to and a positive environment, right? And I
Right.
think people underestimate this so much, Quetta. Like who you choose to keep around you, the conversations that you choose to be a part of,
Hmm.
um, like I think that's more influential than a lot of people even know, right? So
Hmm.
imagine if you surround yourself with success, right? That's a slogan I learned at Johnson C. Smith a long time ago. It said, surround yourself with success. It says, my freshman year, they told me, look to the left of you, look to the right of you, right? They were just like, half of you guys are not going to be here at the end of your 4 years of Johnson C. Smith, right? So, and it's just like, well, wow, when you start to look at statistics and say that, it's very, very hard to be successful. I want to surround myself with other people who have, similar or the same goals as me because every success is personal and everybody does not have the
Hmm.
same goals, right? So I
And
want to
everybody,
surround
everybody can't go with you.
and everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go with you.
Everybody can't
What's
go.
for
Did
you
you
is
hear
for
that,
you.
people? Everybody can't go.
Everybody
Everybody
can't
can't.
go. What's for you is for you.
Mm,
What's for you may not be for somebody else. They can try it all they want, but it's not for them.
there you
You
go.
know what I mean? So what's for you is for you. I tell my students all the time, stay in your lane.
Mm,
Don't get out of it. Stay in your lane and you will be successful.
mm,
Don't try to do what B and C is doing because, you see them posting that, they just having this great life. we don't know what people are going through behind social media. People are
Facts.
posting on social media when, we just don't know.
Mm,
Just be you and do what you love to do, and God will keep leading you. And every day I wake up, I thank Him so much because nothing but blessings have been pouring on me. There's so much other stuff that I haven't even announced yet. And again, move in silence, make noise later. But yeah, just do you, be who you are. Don't try to be like nobody else, and everything will fall into place. And patience is the key. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen. Don't stop, keep going. And that's just it. Like that's it. I don't
mm,
stop.
mm.
I just keep going. That's it.
I like
And I'm
unless
not
unless
stopping.
it's quota day where I'm taking care of myself, right?
Right, unless it's credit day. And even on credit day, my mind doesn't shut off.
Yeah.
I'm waking up in the middle of the night, 3, 4 in the morning, my mind just going. My husband be like,
Mm,
go to sleep. I'm like, I'm asleep. You're like, no, you're not.
mm, mm.
My mind doesn't shut off, it does not shut off. It just go. And I think about what else can I give to the community? What
All
other
right. Well,
services can I provide?
I have to jump in here and tell you that like that's part of that self um, uh, ensuring that you take care of yourself, right? And it was one
Hmm.
of the things I had to learn when I was running model, right? Because I was, I sleep when I'm dead, I sleep when I die. That was Jeezy said it, and it messed all of us up, right?
It
It was
did.
just, no, no, take the time to rest. So like,
Hmm.
sometimes some of our best ideas come to us in the most uh um comfortable of places, right? You could be in the bathroom, it could be sleeping.
Hmm.
But what I do is rather than get so engulfed in the idea, if it comes to me, I'll just grab my phone, put it in my notes, and then look at it in the morning and get back to sleep, right? Because before I would wake up 2, 3 in the morning obsessing over an idea. Let me go
Hmm.
ahead and map this whole thing out. But it'd be like,
Hmm.
no, you gotta have balance. So now I go to sleep. We put the kids to sleep at 8:30. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably asleep about 15, 20 minutes after them. And then we all get up pretty early. We're early households. So we're up at 5:30, 6 o'clock over here. So do it all over again. But that's the process.
See, I
That's the
can go to
process.
sleep real easily, but then 3, 4 o'clock,
Mm,
something is like, all right. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do today?
mm,
What am
mm.
I going to gather today? You know, I, I love it. I mean, I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted myself.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
okay.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, let me see, man. I am going to take you in another direction right now. This section, this next 90 seconds is going to be dedicated to a game that I started to play this season called Rapid Fire. So don't worry, it won't be any questions to get you in trouble at home or at work. It'll be questions for the audience to get a chance to better engage with you and understand who LaQuetta is. And the reason why I
Okay.
love this game is because as adults, sometimes we forget to let out our inner kid, and people don't
Hmm.
even think that we have personalities anymore because we're so busy just, getting to the bag. But I like to
Hmm.
get to know who you are. All right, you ready for rapid fire?
I'm ready.
All right, all right. First question. As the seasons change, as we just got an additional hour back, right? What is your favorite season of the year?
Winter.
What?
I love I love wearing layers.
Okay, okay.
I love
All
wearing
right.
hats. I love scarves. I just love the winter. And I love waking up to it being white outside.
Okay. All right. That's the
I
first
know
time I
everybody
got
gonna be like,
that.
what is wrong with you? Sorry, guys. But I love the winter. I don't like the summer. You be hot and sticky and sweaty. I don't like
I'm with. I'm gonna be quiet. All right. Let me see. If you were to choose your favorite music artist, who would it be?
that. Beyonce.
Beehive. All right. If you were to let's say you're having a bad day, this is a Quetta day where I'm just relaxing, right? But you need a pick me up snack or meal. What's your favorite go-to meal or snack that you like?
Well, I love seafood, so anything seafood, and my snack is ice cream. Ice
Okay.
cream just does something to me. I love ice cream. I love
Okay.
ice cream.
Okay. All right. And let me see if if you had to choose your favorite sneaker, your favorite sneaker, because I'm a sneakerhead. So, what would be your favorite style of sneaker?
I like the ones, the Jordan ones.
Jordan ones. Okay, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. And let me see. Let me see. If
The
you
high
had a
tops, the high tops, the high top.
listen, I didn't realize it was a thing, right? Like you can't get mids, Tyrell. What is that?
Yeah,
What is that? So yeah, so
high
I didn't
top.
know people discriminated against mids as bad, but I know now. I know now. Let me see. If you were to describe a talent that you have, like some people will say, I'm double jointed. I can move this way or whatever. What's a hidden talent that LaQuetta has that nobody knows that you know how to do?
I'm a praise dancer.
Nice. All right, all right. There we go. There we go. And let me see. Last question for rapid fire. Who do you text the most? If someone was to randomly go through your phone, who would they find out that LaQuetta texts the most?
The most?
The most.
Jesus Christ. I would probably say my husband, because after my husband, it's the group chat with my siblings and mother. So
Okay.
definitely the husband.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me see. Let me see. Well, thank you for indulging me in rapid fire. All right. All right.
You didn't ask me my favorite color.
Nah, I didn't. I didn't actually. I didn't ask you that one. But you can go ahead and add it for the record. What is it?
And it's red.
Is red? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Duly noted. I'm gonna ask you something that came to me earlier. Like you said, you have two different businesses, and I've always known you to be a hustler and a businesswoman, right? So you're gonna get to the bag.
Mhm.
Um, Thinking about entrepreneurship right now, do you think that entrepreneurship is something that we should start to teach the youth in high school? Why or why not?
Yes. And I say yes because I think everyone should have an LLC.
Mm,
Um, and I think everyone should do what they love. And I don't believe in people working for people anymore.
mm,
Employers do not value their employees. They do not, they just simply don't care.
mm,
And that's another reason why I wanted to be on my own. I didn't want to have to get a time off request approved because I had a death in my family. They
mm,
You only get bereavement for certain kind of family members. That's not fair because my great aunt may have raised me. You
mm,
know what I mean? So I just say everyone should definitely have an LLC. Entrepreneurship should definitely be in the schools. Also, what should be in the schools is CPR training. I've been
mm,
trying to push for that. Everyone needs to know how to do CPR.
mm,
Everyone. It can happen to anybody at any time. And if I'm with my friend at the bus stop and my friend just dropped and become unresponsive, it's going to take a while for 911 to show up. When
mm,
that person, well, I can be starting chest compressions.
mm,
You know what I mean? So, yes, entrepreneurship should definitely be in schools. They should also talk about credit building. We have a habit of messing up our credit and then
mm,
later on in life have to fix it because we're
mm,
not taught how to build credit.
mm.
We're not taught how to not swipe our credit card too much. You know what I mean? So, yes, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And I'm glad you brought up financial literacy. Shout out to my guys over there at Earn Your Leisure, Rashad and Troy, because I know that they're kicking off their financial literacy courses in the Bronx. I think they got 10 schools that they're working with right now on
Mm,
their initial rollout. But financial literacy is not it used to be something that was in some of the schools, but I
mhm,
think nationwide, there were only like 13 states that now teach or have something to do with financial literacy. But you're right, financial literacy is a game changer. And the earlier that
mhm,
you learn how to manage what you have and not just use a plastic card. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why plastic cards are so addictive is because you don't feel you don't feel it when you use it, right? It's not like cash. Like
right,
if I got a wad of
right.
money in my pocket and I just went to go spend $600 on something, I'm gonna feel that right away. My pocket just
Mhm,
got slim. But when you use
mhm,
a credit card, it's just like, oh, it's gonna. mystically, magically show up somewhere, and I'll take care of it at a later time. But you're right. Most of us, not knowing how to utilize credit, we end up, I'm guilty of it myself too. Because it's like when I first got it, I jacked it up, right? And then I was able to go ahead and rebuild my credit, and now I understand the importance of it. But what if we can help shorten up the path for everybody else on those journeys and realize that, hey,
Correct.
let me learn how to live within my means. Let me
Mm-hmm.
learn how to pay bills on time. Let me learn how to
Mm-hmm.
budget. That's another big one, budgeting. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't never say want to live within a budget. Be like, oh, I told myself I'm never going to deprive myself of anything. No, it's okay to deprive yourself of something or to plan to pay off for what it is that you need and not just to swipe. So I'm off the
So as far
soapbox.
as budget goes, I don't I don't I don't budget.
Okay.
My method is and my thinking is I work too hard to budget and to just save. I work hard, so
What?
I'm gonna get what I want when I want and how I want, right?
Okay.
Because when I go, my daughter is fine.
Mm,
That's what policies are for.
mm,
That's what a lot of other things are for. But we work too hard to just not do what we want. So
mm,
if Beyonce come in and that ticket $700,
mm,
I don't care if I gotta use Klarna, Afterpay. I'm
mm,
going to see Beyonce,
mm.
right? Because I deserve it. I work hard to do that,
Okay.
and I don't go out. I don't go to clubs, nothing like that. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to a concert once, twice a year, why
Mm.
not?
Hey, listen, I'm part of the Beehive too, but I'm going to tell you, I am not paying that for the ticket. Let me tell you why,
It's
right?
worth
So
it. It's worth it.
I'm not suggesting that it's not. I've seen her, especially when she's been with Jay at least 3 times already, and she definitely puts on a show. And I've heard my frat brother who pledged with me. He works for Apple Music, so
Mm,
he got invited to one of the shows out of the country. He says, "Bro, you gotta go to the Renaissance joint." So I know it's dope. I know it's fire because he wouldn't lie to me. But long story short, I'm gonna say, like, even over here in the Hughes household, we budget. We budget every month, and it's not about, like, a lot of people have this idea that it's about restricting yourself. And I should have led with a
mhm,
preface. Like, we did Dave Ramsey's financial peace class back in
mhm,
2020 or so and got rid of $103,000 in debt, and we've stayed out of debt since, right? And it's important. So it's not about like depriving ourselves, but it is about setting a plan, living within your plans, and
mhm.
just realizing everything that we want isn't necessarily everything that we need. Or if we do want it, let me make sure that I budgeted for it so that
Mhm.
that way all my bills are paid. Because what's
Right.
happening, Quetta, is that most people aren't taking care of the responsibilities in front of them and swiping and living like YOLO. And then it's just like, I'll take care of it another time. And like you said, that's how we end up in those situations where, our credit is jacked up, or,
Hmm.
sometimes you
Yeah.
can't even get a good job because you
Yeah.
can't pass, a risk, you're a liability because, you got debt. So it's all of those things that people don't really
Mm-hmm.
realize that we need to be talking about.
Hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. Prioritization is very important. It's the
Mm,
key. You have to pay your bills before you can play. Work hard, play later. If your bills are paid and your priorities are in order, and you got an extra few hundred to go ball out, then do so.
okay.
But you knowing that you have a roof over your head and a car to drive, you can do that. But don't just, go get stuff because your friends got it when
Mm.
your rent is behind. Now you gotta pay a late fee,
Ooh,
court fees, So yes,
ooh.
priorities are definitely it's very important, and this is why I tell people to do what you love and get an LLC so you can be flexible like that.
Yep,
you know I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm far from rich, but I'm blessed.
yep,
I'm
yep.
blessed. My family is blessed. We have a roof over our head. We're not struggling. The bills are paid and we
Mm.
can still enjoy life. And that's
I
what
love it.
matters to me the most, giving my kid the life, because the world is crazy these days. It's crazy. And,
Mm,
just I just want her to see how fun it really is or can
mm.
be. You
I
know what
love
I
it.
mean?
I love it. And listen, LaQuetta done dropped it at least 2 or 3 times already and saying, get your own business. Every household should have at least one LLC.
Mhm.
A lot of the expenses, your everyday expenses, that you typically don't get to write off. Like
Mhm.
the tax code was designed for businesses.
Mhm.
So talk to someone that can help you to establish an entity,
Mhm.
a real entity,
A
not
real
not
one.
not not what was that? Not PPE entities. A real entity. Get
Yep.
somebody to help you out with that, establishing that, because, like I said, the taxes or the laws were really made to help those who are to help businesses. Excuse me. But
Right. And if you're really serious about your business, get an attorney.
yep.
Especially if you're going into business with somebody, get an attorney. Have your non-competes, have your NDA agreements, have everything in place because you don't know at any given time things may go left. You need to be covered. I don't care if you're selling socks and you
Mm,
got a business partner, get a non-compete. If
mm,
you founded it, it's your ideal, get a non-compete. I cannot express that enough.
I love
All
it.
right. It's very important. And don't tell people what you're doing. Let them find out when it's done.
Mm,
Do the work and then announce it when you want to. Don't rush to announce it because people are watching and praying on your downfall. People are they're not happy for you.
mm. Ooh.
There's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of hatred for no reason because you're not the person you was 10 years ago. And that's how I feel at times. I feel like people know the old Quetta. They don't know the new Quetta. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But that means that's not going to make me stop. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Maybe it's not meant for you to be a part of my life anymore. You can't tell me a simple, I'm proud of you, congratulations. If you need
mm,
help, let me know. I'm a one woman show. I'm by myself. I
mm,
do everything from top to bottom, and I do it, you know quickly and efficiently because I want my business to thrive. You
mm,
know what I mean? So it's very important to, don't just, again, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Seek a business attorney, have a CPA. Don't try to do taxes on your own. Think you know what you're doing because you don't want the IRS knocking at your door. Be legit with it. Just be legit. My sister is constantly on me about, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm thankful for that because a lot of the stuff she say, although I don't want to hear it, it's the truth. I need it. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, Tisha, I'll call you back. She's like, no, sis, what you need is, I'm like, all right. And then after I think about it, I'm like, she's right. It's not her telling me what I need to do or it's not her telling me what to do. She's telling me real good information. You know
Mhm,
what I mean? And if I would have listened to her a while back,
mm.
I would have been even in a better situation.
I
But
can
it's
hear her
okay.
right now. What's she saying? It's imperative. That's her word.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
imperative. So,
yeah, yep,
yep.
yep. I'm like, all right, mom.
Mm,
So,
yep.
she's constantly on me. We just was on the phone yesterday for a while. She it's good to have supportive people around you. It's good to have people that want you to do better and be more. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Don't surround yourself by people that's jealous of you because they're not going to guide you into the right direction. They want you to be stuck.
Have people that hold you accountable, right?
Right.
So, like a lot of people end up, both male and females end up keeping a lot of yes men or yes women around them, right? But what I learned early on in life is that, I need somebody who's going to keep it 100 with me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I got a booger in my nose, please tell me I got a booger in my nose. Don't be having me out here introducing myself to Miss LaQuetta, Alexander-Ellis, and I got a booger in my nose. Tell me about myself, right? So,
Right.
and I
Right.
found out that value people who hold you accountable
Mm-hmm.
rather than those who just kill you with compliments, right? Because you may never learn the thing about yourself that you were supposed to learn and what God wants you to learn as a result of experiences. Just keeping yes people around you, be like, you'll never know. It's like, I didn't realize I was a butthole. It's
Yep.
like, oh, okay. Thanks for pointing that
Yep.
out to me so I can I
Yep.
can I can make the changes.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Seek a mentor. Everyone should have a mentor, maybe two of them.
Mm,
Seek a mentor. If you can afford it, seek a business coach. Get people that's in that lane. Remember, I said
mm,
stay in your lane.
mm,
Find people that's in their lane. This is what they do, this is what they
mm,
know, So I'm just blessed. I'm grateful. This isn't the end.
mm.
We're going to keep going, and Practice the Perfect is getting ready to blow up.
Hey, listen, it's already blown up. And before you leave me, I got three more questions for you. How about
Okay.
that?
Okay. That's
Question
my
number
favorite
one.
number.
Yeah, so I know red is your favorite color, and I know if I want to really get you, I'm gonna get you some ice cream, and we're gonna be the best of friends. But here you go. Last three questions, and I'll let you go, Miss Busybody. If you were to define success, how would you define success?
Me? No, I'm kidding. Um, being patient, just thriving, not caring what other people have to say. People gonna talk
Mm,
to the day you die, and after that, just keep going. You know what I mean? Just be self-motivated.
mm.
Do not give up, no matter what. Do not give up.
All right. And I like to ask this question because I like to know what motivates you, right? A lot of people tell you to stay motivated, but how do you stay motivated, right? So, are there any books that you're reading or you've read that you would recommend? Are there any podcasts or a person that you're listening to that helps to give you motivation? Who inspires you?
Now you're gonna get me emotional over here. My grandmother is my inspiration. Although she's not here anymore, she's still my inspiration. My grandmother knew exactly what I wanted to do, told me how proud she was of me to keep going. I listen to gospel. Gospel motivates me the most.
Mm,
I could be down and out and I'm turning my gospel on and I'm
mm.
lit.
I
So
love it.
gospel is just a really good outlet for me. And don't let me get my gospel in ice cream. It's over. It's over. But yeah, so definitely, and my daughter, I do it all for her. Like I can't let her see me give up because I don't want her to give up. She still has a whole life ahead of her. She wants to be a forensic nurse. I need to let her know that it's possible.
Mm,
I need to sometimes she see my good days, my bad days, but she also see how I come back from my bad days. You
mhm.
know what I mean? So,
Good.
sometimes it's just a minor setback for a major come up.
Absolutely.
But I know
Always.
that she's watching me and I know that my students are watching me. They tell me all the time. And knowing that I have all these people watching me, I have no room to give up. I
Mm.
have no room but to keep elevating.
Okay. 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 All right. She says, anywho, let me see. And I have to ask, thinking about everything that you've been through thus far, thinking about your life's path, what about your life's path are you most proud of, Quetta?
Me becoming a woman I am today.
Mm,
Um, I've been through a lot, whether it's, behavioral things, health, I've been through a lot. I almost didn't make it after having my daughter. I went to a heart failure, and that really opened my eyes for me. So it just, I'm just grateful and thankful for
mm,
everything that I have and that I'm still able to be here to provide the services, not only to my community, but also, provide my awesome mother and auntie and daughter and wifely duties to my family. You know what I mean? So
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to end right here with this because uh, it doesn't get talked about enough. So first things first, a happy Women's History Month.
thank you.
You know, and a strong, successful woman, and in your case, I'm going to say a strong, successful Black woman, is the backbone behind most of us men, in front of us men, on the side of us men, wherever you want to put. them at in that particular situation. And I want to say that there was something that you mentioned that I think deserves to be highlighted, which I think is a special part of your sauce, your connection with God, right? Oftentimes people hear about success and they see what people have and they envy what they have, but they don't really understand what makes them uniquely them, right? So I'm successful, you're successful, but part of that success is being able to give it over to God. So, like you said, your hidden talent is that you're part of the praise team at church. Did I say that right? No.
The praise, yeah, praise
Yeah.
band.
Okay. Yeah. So and
Hmm.
but you know, I think for those of you out there who are listening, who are looking for the special sauce, right? Don't put all of the pressure on yourself to try to figure it out. Your foundation, your spirituality, your understanding of God's uniqueness and your design is very important, right? And you can be
Hmm.
able to be authentically yourself. So I
Hmm.
wanted to say thank you for all that you have done for yourself and your family, but thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for everybody in the community. I'm always rooting for you. I'm absolutely proud of you. I'm absolutely happy
Thank
for
you.
you. And I
Thank you.
enjoy watching you work. So keep cooking.
Thank you. And remember, guys, pray and leave it there.
Mm,
That's it. Just pray and leave it right there. He will handle it.
There you go. There you go.
It may
Well,
not be when you want him to, but it's gonna happen.
what they
That's when
say,
the
it may
patience
not
come in.
come when you want them, but it's right on time.
We're right. Oh, it's right on time every time.
Mm-mm.
So
Well,
yes,
listen, Quetta, I'm going to say thank you for being on the back community. Thank you for allowing me to dive into your story a little bit more. I can't wait to get this out to the people. And like I said, man, happy Women's History Month.
thank
Continue to
you,
thrive.
thank you,
And I'll play catch up with you next time.
thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Later.
Take care. Bye bye.
Keep climbing up the ladder. A Black Lives Matter. They matter. Matter. So all you young people, give me all. 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 Matter, matter. A Black Lives Matter. They matter, they matter. A Black Lives Matter.